First and foremost, there's been a lot of pressure. Seeing the prevailing situation, in the state on all fronts, a lot of people were apprehensive about what the future would bring. So they came and they talked with me, some elderly people, some youth, and they all had the same apprehensions, they all had the same frustrations, and they said, please come back. Now, it's difficult to say no, especially when you know that it's for the state and its people. So I finally said, okay, I'll come back.
Some say that it's because of who the current president has been appointed, Vincent Pala. Hence, that is the reason that has pushed you further or made it easy for you to come back. Or would you agree with this? What do you have to say?
One of the factors, I cannot deny that. After all, he stretched out his hand and said, come back. So maybe that was the push, final push. So yeah, that would be one of the factors. But the major thing is that a lot of people have talked.
Now, if you look at Congress when you were back then and now, do you think Congress will be able to revive back or again back its part in this upcoming elections, or how do you see Congress doing in this upcoming elections?
Well, I am hopeful. That's why I've come back. I'm not only hopeful, but I have also decided that I will also lend a hand. I will also do what I can to help. Okay? And the big difference now I see is that the current president of the MPCC is a team player. He likes to consult. He likes to bring people into the loop, which I think is a very good trend. Maybe that was missing in the past, and maybe that can do the trick.
Why not as independent, or why not NPP, UDP and BJP? Why you chose Congress?
See, independent, it's difficult in a democracy to really deliver if you're an independent. You need a lobby, you need backing to get things done in a democracy. Not everybody is as lucky as Dr. F.A. Konglam, who went against the norms of democracy as an independent and became a chief minister. That is a once in a lifetime, I think, happening. I don't see it happening anywhere anymore. Okay? But insofar as the regional parties, insofar as the regional parties, I had talked with them, but I find that they're living more in the past than in the future, and I doubt their capability to deliver. So, and I'm comfortable with the Congress. I know the Congress well. I've been here. So, hence, I chose the Congress.
Why not the ruling NPP?
Because the ruling NPP is taking the state in a wrong direction.
And in addition to that, BJP, why you have rejected?
See, the BJP and the ideology of the BJP is a little suspect to me, because I don't believe in uniform country. After all, our country is unity in diversity. I think that diversity is what makes our country strong. It makes our country beautiful. Now to try and remove that diversity and have only one people, I think that would kill the spirit of India.
The Congress at the center is weak, and at the state level also not that good. What difference your joining can make?
It's not me alone. It's not me alone. Alone, I don't think I can make any difference. But as a team, I'm sure we can do a lot. And the idea more is to make the party relevant. People have to see a future by investing their votes in the party. We have to be able to project that. Unless we can project that, then it's meaningless. Nobody will vote for us. So we have to make ourselves relevant. We have to know what the youth are aspiring for. We have to know what the farmer is aspiring for. We have to know what the entrepreneur is aspiring for. We have to be able to listen and reflect these dreams in our manifesto.
So just now you said that the president is keeping everyone in the loop, including you. So do you mean to say that his predecessors never kept you in the loop, or?
I wasn't in the party, I was out, so.
That's why. Now also he's not in the party. So how
No,
would you?
no, I say I have seen that he's a team player. The current president is a team player. So that gives hope, People, when you're a team player, then everybody takes ownership of the initiatives,
So you are being roped in. So any conditional offer, the CM post or any posts?
No, I didn't join for that. I've joined because I think there is a need to move the governance in a certain direction. I'm not looking for power. I'm not looking for glory. I'm looking to get into a team that will be able to deliver according to what the people need, according to what the people require.
You are going to come back after 13 years.
You're counting, huh?
The last one was till 2008.
Yeah.
So many things have changed.
Truly.
So how are you looking back, and what are your aims and aspirations?
See, it doesn't mean that in the 13 years I was not in touch about what is going on. Even if you're out, it does not mean that my finger was no longer in the pulse. My finger was very much on the pulse. I knew what was happening. I could see what was happening. And I think here, two things need to be addressed post haste. One is the rural economy, so that we can arrest the migration from rural to urban areas. Because a lot of the problems that we are facing today is because of the migration from rural to urban areas. And the second is to cater to the needs of the youth and their future. These things have to be looked at.
And how soon do you expect you to make an entry into the party? Considering there are by-elections around the corner.
See, the party will arrange for that. No, I can't arrange for it myself.
So you're not in the race to get
The party will decide accordingly, according to their need.
So coming to the law and order situation, how do you see, this government handling the situation, and would you agree that there's total lawlessness in the state of Meghalaya?
I would not go so far as to say that it's in the whole state of Meghalaya. I will not even say that there is lawlessness in the whole city of Shillong. But definitely in certain pockets of the city, people are starting to take the law into their own hands. And that is a bad precedent. Because if you allow that, then where do you draw the line? How do you stop? And can you stop it after it grows? These things have to be looked at.
During your term as a Home Minister, have you ever witnessed anything as such where we had witnessed on August 15th where, masked miscreants had, snatched weapons and waving around across localities? Have you seen anything, such a situation like this?
No, I was scared. That was a very scary picture. And scary not just per se, but scary because of the picture that it paints to the outside world, and how others will then perceive us. That was what was scary. As it is, a lot of people were starting to liken the situation to the situation in Afghanistan or Pakistan, which was dangerous. And if it is seen that governance has broken down, law and order has broken down, then the center can always step in with president's rule. So then what happens? So we have to be careful how we react. We have to be careful. I don't blame, because that was more a reaction, more an emotional reaction than a rational reaction. But we have to learn to be rational, because especially in today's world where social media has made the world so small, we have to be careful how we react to things, because it can be misinterpreted in certain quarters.
Now coming to the Home Minister submitting his resignation to step down from the Home portfolio, how do you see it, and do you think he didn't have the courage to deal with the situation and just ending up to give up his portfolio? How do you see this situation?
See, there should be courage of conviction in whatever you do. You have to have the courage of conviction. And if you're convinced that what was done was wrong, and because of that you submit your resignation, then you have to follow through. But if you are convinced that what was done was right, then you should not bow down to pressure to resign. No? It has to come from yourself. The conviction has to come from oneself. That's why you're sitting on the chair, and that's why you're a leader.
Just one last. Talking about those arms that were snatched away, do you think the Chief Minister did the right thing by appealing to them and saying that your names will remain anonymous and then no action will be taken and all that? Do you think that was right, or that's very immature?
Well, he got what he wanted. Whether it was right or wrong, he got what he wanted. But personally, I would not have followed that route. But what can I say? It's his style of functioning.
Your name as former Home Minister is synonymous with how you tackle HNLC, the extortion and follow-up actions. How do you look now?
See, I cannot take credit that I did it alone. At that time, if you remember, Jose, the media was hand in hand with me in tackling the situation. The traditional institutions were hand in hand with me in tackling the situation. The churches were hand in hand with me tackling the situation. NGOs had come on board. So even civil society, had come on board to tackle the situation. So it was a combination. And I don't see that combination today. I don't see any attempt to get that combination today. There should be some reaching out to make people take ownership of the situation.
But you paved the way and the activities are nil. So is it not very easy to tackle?
You have to think out of the box. A lot of the times you think out of the box. When conventional strategies don't work, you have to be able to think out of the box. And that time, we must not forget that the situation was very different. At that time, HNLC was socially accepted. At that time, people were taking a lot of help from HNLC. That made things difficult. At that time, social media wasn't as active. At that time, the members of the HNLC were more school dropouts. So it made it a little easier. So the situation was different, you know. It'll be, if we try to compare now and then, it'll be like trying to compare chalk and cheese, which I don't think is fair.
But then extortion was
bad then. But then, if you recall, we solved that by making all these businessmen and engineers take anticipatory bail. We filed an FIR against all of them, made them take anticipatory bail. And then when the HNSC went to them to demand, they said, we are also being probed, so how can we give you? So that's how we broke it.
There were a lot of expectation when the new government came in, to 3.5 years.
Truly.
What is your assessment?
I think they have dashed all the expectations. I think they've proved themselves to be more talk than action. And their governance is more on social media than on the ground. That's sad.
You are worked with late P.S. Sangma,
Yes, I have.
and now the sons are at the helm of affairs. How do you rate them?
The Lion King is the Lion King, no? And Lion Cubs are Lion Cubs.
Okay, one more thing about the Congress coming back. Infighting is the ban of Congress. There is a Phala camp, now RG camp will be there, then there will be a,
I hope not.
there is Mughal camp.
Yeah.
So how are you going to be a person who can unify the divisions?
See, that onus of responsibility would go on the president. But one thing is for sure, I will do whatever I can to help him. You know? Because if you, as you say, there's an RG camp. How will an RG camp go and talk to another camp? They will not be as welcoming, and they will be suspicious. But if somebody else takes the initiative, I would want to see a united front. I would like to see a united Congress without factions.
Thank you.